Hello everyone, welcome to this brand new session on Zentangle floral treats. Basically, we'll be working on beautiful watercolor backgrounds and using mostly floral, very flowy tangles draw over the watercolor background, right? This session I'll be creating various watercolor backgrounds and I'll be using my phi tile. I have received many queries from many of my followers and students to post where to find the products, the paper, the pencils, for that matter, any product or the stationery that I use in my sessions. So, although I do answer the queries, but now on I will start posting the links, the Amazon links. About regarding the products that I use in the description section of this video, right? So you can always go to the link and see what product is being used and where to buy. Yeah, so I think that is going to help you. So I have some phi tiles with me, and today I'm going to be working with Stedler watercolor pencils. I have the gray color, and we'll be working with many more colors. Pen is not required today, right? So I have these two earbuds or Q-tips with me, and although they are fine, but I would like to add a little extra cotton. I have cotton with me, and I'm going to add a little softness to the tip by rolling in a little more cotton, right? So this is not soft enough. I need a softer tip, right? So I've just rolled in some extra cotton there. Yeah, and now I'm going to use my watercolor pencil and start with some concentric circles first. Yeah, so this is gray watercolor pencil and I'm just drawing freehand, not thinking much where what, not thinking much about the placement either. Yeah, just drawing some concentric circles with my watercolor pencil. So if you're more comfortable working with the brush pen or with brushes, please do that. I'm not, and the kind of effect that I'm looking for, I think I will get it with the Q-tip, and that's why I have chosen to use this. Yeah, so I have water here and I'm going to dip it, wet the Q-tip nicely, and then just start to blur my watercolor. Yeah, so just dab it nicely and then just rotate it. So I'm just blurring, trying to go in the same direction, but again, it's not a hard and fast rule. You can change the direction. Again, I'm blurring. If you want to do it with your hands, you can do that too. Yeah, so just use your hand. Again, I'm blurring the watercolor. I want this kind of an effect. If you can give it with your brush, please do that. Yeah, so just adding a little more. So this is the first background on which we are going to be tangling. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it aside and then change the tip. I'm going to add, take a little more cotton and then change. And now I'm going to take the second tile. So I now have the second tile and I've changed my color to something like red or close to red or pink, something between red and pink. And now what I'm going to do is add some orbs like these, and then add some lines around it like this. Yeah. So I'm going to do a couple of them again, trying to create nice backgrounds before we go to our floral tangles. Yeah. Again, actually drawing with my watercolor pencil. Yeah. Again, as many as you want, placement as per your choice. Yeah, so I've done that. Now I'm first going to blur it, and then probably we will add a little more watercolor. So first I'm going to blur the center and then blur these lines. Yeah, again going to do the same exercise. I somehow like this effect. You can do it with your fingers also. Yeah. So continue. Do it at your own pace. Don't bother too much about whether it is looking nice or not. It will look nice. Yeah. The last one here. Yeah. So once you are done with that, I'm again going to use my pencil and add little finer strands in between, which you may or may not blend. Something like this. Yeah. So let's do that throughout. You can always wait for it to dry up. There is no hurry. You can also mix and match tones. Use a different watercolor pencil, probably a little lighter or a little darker. Yeah. I'm just giving you ideas. These are simple watercolor pencils. I find them easier to handle compared to liquid or the cakes. Yeah. So you can see how it is turning out to be a beautiful background on which we are going to tangle from the next session. Yeah. So just continue doing the same exercise. You can add one here. Take your time. You can add some more in the empty spaces. I'm going to first blur this. You can add some here. You can add some here. Yeah. So placement as per your choice. I'm just giving you an idea how to go about doing it. You can choose to do it any other way you like. Yeah. If you want to blend it a little more, in between space, just dab dab. So you have the same color running through. Yeah. So that's our second watercolor background. Let's move on to the third. So the first one has dried up and this is how it looks like. Yeah. So let's move on to the third. The third one, again, it is up to you. How do you want to go about? I'm going to add some commas now. So I have two shades of green here and I'm going to be using them. So let's add some commas. Something like this. So I'm just choosing my one of the watercolor pencils, which is the green shade. And this is also a shade of green, or more like olive. Again, adding these commas. Take your time. Do it the way you wish to. Yeah. Now again, I'm going to pick up my Q-tip and then wet it. And then just go ahead and blur the commas first. Yeah. So please do it the way you wish to. This is just an idea. I felt this gives a nice effect. Yeah. I'm just going to add some more. Let's blend this also. Yeah, done with that. Now let us use a little darker color, little darker shade of green in between. Yeah, so I'm just going to add dots. Take your time. Do it the way you wish to. No hard and fast rules here, just some ideas running through my mind. Again, going to blur it. Now going to kind of fill up the space at the same time as I blur. Yeah, use the color on your bud, on the Q-tip, dab dab. Kind of a so this is our third background on which we are going to be tangling. Yeah, so the second one that we did has dried up, and this is how it looks like. Yeah, let's keep this aside now. Moving on to the next. So now I'm going to again use my green and yellow. Again draw these wavy lines with my watercolor. Kind of a grid that we use many a times in our practice. Yeah, now I'm going to just simply use the yellowish tone inside. Not filling up the entire space. I think one side would be sufficient to get that effect. It's very simple to work with watercolor pencil, so I generally work with them only. If you have liquid watercolors, you can use them also, but I think to get this kind of an effect, you will have to use a pencil. So take your time, slowly add that dash of yellow inside. Yeah, done with that. Now again I'm going to use my Q-tip. Since it has green already, we can use that. So I'm going to reuse it first, blur my green lines. Yeah. So first going with the green lines, blurring it. I found that using this Q-tip gives a nice aura when you blur it, which I really liked. Yeah. So now I'm just going to add some water inside. This activity can be done with a brush. I'm just blurring the inside yellow. Not being too systematic here, just taking it away from the edges. Yeah. So you can see we have another nice wavy background there on which it will be fun to tangle. So I am done. So let's leave it to dry. Yeah, so that's one more background that we are going to be working on. So this is the third one that we did. Yeah. So again, moving on to the next. So let's make it a little geometrical this time. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just add random squares like this. If you are aware about a tangle called frames, so it is somewhat inspired from there. So just going to add these squares, rectangles, randomly, not thinking where, what much. Yeah, I think that's enough. We don't need to add more. And then I'm again going to do the same exercise. So let's change the tip again. And I'm going to roll in some cotton there. You can keep changing your Q-tip, but since I have to top it up with a new little more cotton, so I'm not changing it. Yeah. Again, I'm going to dip and blur. So take your time. See the aura that this adds when you use this Q-tip. It kind of adds an aura automatically, which I really liked. Yeah. So I'm going to each and running the Q-tip over it, blurring the watercolor, creating a background. This is not floral, this is more geometrical. However, we'll try and combine it with floral tangles. So the edges, I'm just adding some bit of gray. Like this. Yeah, I think we are done. So I'm going to keep this aside. And this is the last one that we created. Yeah. So I have another tile in front of me, and now I have my blue watercolor pencil. Yeah. And I'm now going to add some diamonds like these. So you can add any shapes. These are just ideas, as I keep insisting. You may or may not use it, but I have given you how you can create different backgrounds using a Q-tip and your watercolor pencil. So just explore more. So I am just drawing some diamonds here using my blue pencil now. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to do anything else. Again, using my Q-tip, wet it and then just blur the pencil. Yeah. And the last one here. That's about it. I'm going to stop here. Yeah. So let's see the last one that we did. So this is the last one that we did. Yeah. So how many do we have here? Let's see. 1, 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6 and this is 7. Yeah. So we will do 3 more. So I'm going to keep this aside. So I'm going to write something now, right? Let's write love. So I'm going to write love first on my tile, like this, right? And then I'm going to add auras, as many as you want. You can extend this more. Yeah. So I'm going to add aura inside. If you want, you can add one more circle like this. Then I'm going to add some more auras. So what I'm doing is writing something, adding some more auras. Broadly it should be visible, but I'm not aiming at love being visible completely clearly, but a blurred version probably. Yeah. So once I'm done that, you can add some bit of other color also. For example, a little more darker orange. But basically using tones of orange only. Yeah. So let us now again move to our Q-tip. So I'm going to add a little more cotton over it, roll it, and now use the water again. So again start to blur it. You can extend it till the ends. You can add some more. Yeah. Moving on to the next, that is the O. Yeah. Going to the V. So just add a little bit of color in between, and going to the E. And you can always add some bit of color in between. So it is broadly visible what you have written. And then we can tangle over it. Yeah. So let's keep this aside also. So this is the last one that we did. It has dried up and you can see it's a nice background to tangle over. So let's create a few more. So let's now do one simple zigzag background. This has been done by Maria also in one of our project packs, but just that I'm going to press hard in a few lines and go lighter in a few. Yeah. So again I'm going to press a little harder. So varying the pressure as I draw these curvy lines. Again, I'm going to press a little harder, soft. Take your time, and probably one or two here. Yeah, done with that. Now let us blur it. So I'm going to use a different Q-tip now. I have one more here. Yeah, so let's soften the tip a little because it's quite hard. So I'm going to use some extra cotton there, roll it over, and then dip, and then just blur. Just feather touch, you don't have to press too hard, but make sure there's enough water on the tip. So in one go it blurs. Yeah. Take your time, slowly do that exercise for all these lines that you drew. Yeah. I'm almost done there. Some bit of yeah. So that's one more background ready. Yeah. Let's keep it aside. Let's move on to the next. So I have my purple pencil now, and I'm going to draw a tangle called rags. Something like this, interweaving of lines, between but with straight lines. Yeah, you can always add a little extra, no harm. Yeah, so let's now blur it. So I'm going to use the blue side of it, and again start to blend, blur it, use enough water so that you don't damage the paper, and you just have to run through it once like this. Go till the end. Yeah, so that's one more background that we are going to be working on, and this is the last one that we created, and you can see how does it look like. Still some time before it dries up completely. Let's move on to the last. On the last style, let us work with, it's somewhere in between purple and red. I'm going to use the heart shape now, just drawing with my watercolor pencil. So you can choose any shape of your choice, draw it with your pencil, and then just blur it to get a nice, beautiful background. Circles, orbs, any tangle that you would like to highlight in the background. Please do that. Yeah, done with that. Now let us add, I'm going to change the tip, roll in a little more cotton there. Yeah, and then do the same exercise. Like this. Yeah, so add enough water and then just blur the lines. See the beautiful aura that we get when we use our Q-tip. Yeah, there's a fine aura around. I really like that effect. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. We are done. That's our last background. So I hope you got an idea. Well, this is just a suggestion. It's not compulsory that you use a Q-tip. If you are comfortable enough using your brush, please do that. Q-tip gave me a certain kind of an effect. You can see the mild aura on both sides of the line that I've drawn, and that's why I used it. I really like that. Yeah, so these are some of the backgrounds that we created. You can experiment with some more. Use any tangle, auras, any shapes, alphabets, letters, any write up, and then you can, just create these beautiful backgrounds. So we will get started from the next session and start to triangle on these tiles. Yeah, till then, have a good time. Bye bye.